What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video. Magical Musketeers, Magical Muskets, I believe they are called in a TCG, right, with their name change. But this new card, Sears Passbook, the card is okay, right? The card states like, essentially just draw 3 cards. But what's the catch? Well, the catch is that you have to wait 3 turns in order to get those 3 excavated cards, right? So probably like you probably won't see these cards ever in competitive play. Any uses for it? Well, Magical Musketeers can definitely make use of this card, your Sears Passbook. Again, if you have like any musket monster on the side of the field, your Passbook will just be like a 1-for-1. If you get like a search off of Casper, for example, and then you will have to quote unquote stall for 3 turns in order to get the 3 banished cards, right? The 3 banished cards. But again, by the time you're probably getting those 3 cards, you either already won the game or probably already lost, so you won't be getting those 3 banished cards. So again, competitively speaking, Sears Passbook, in theory, great card, but in practice, it's not really too easy to play this card. So let's see a couple of example duels. Okay, first example against Cyber Dragons, the opponent gets to start, so going second this time with Magical Muskets. I think it's fine, right, if your opponent has like a couple of sets, just summon your Magical Musket monsters to those same columns where your opponent has like the set cards. And again, there's always the danger that your opponent will have like the Solemn Strike or something to negate a normal summon, right? Your first activation effect of any Magical Musket monster, and that could probably be like GG already. Since again, a normal summon is so crucial in case of your Magical Musket monster. Opening with a level 4, I believe, is okay. Right? That's next to Casper, definitely one of your strongest opening plays. So get rid of the Infinity, right? I think I was able to force it out earlier. Not really sure if I was able to negate it with something like, one of the quick play spells, right? So definitely going to use a warning, but the Kaiju, again, it's either like a Kaiju or a hand trap, and with a hand trap I mean Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, to prevent my Casper or any Magical Musketeer monster from activating or, be destroyed, so I can't use it during my opponent's turn. And if that's the case, then you're so much behind in case of Magical Musketeers, and that's definitely one of the biggest problems the deck still has, is, if your opponent has any form of interruption, you're set back by so much. So if you want to solve Magical Musketeers, or magic bullets, right, as we know them from the OCG, the archetype needs to have something like a monster reborn, or as mentioned multiple times before, like a Zodiac Barrage alike card. But again, having multiple Magical Musket monsters on your side of the field should be GG, right? There is like the small new combo, can I call it a combo of the new level 3, the Shadow level 3, rank 3 Exceed. The guy that I believe negates some monster effect and lets both players draw 1 card, but that's not really too important. Its second effect is what is most important. It lets you use its effect and then target any, I believe, number Exceed monster, and then your Shadow Exceed and all of its materials will attach itself to that particular number Exceed. And with the most recent reveal of the ship, the Dreadnought, again into your what is it called, the Super Quantum Magnus, that can definitely help, since your Magical Musketeers isn't really the deck that can span multiple level 4 monsters on the field, potentially threaten your opponent with, your Dreadnought destruction by battle into your Great Magnus. So having your level 3 Shadow can definitely help of giving your Magnus extra materials to make it unaffected by your opponent's card effects. But again, it's very, very situational if you can get that particular combo off, maybe off of a Soul Charge, and even then most of the time, like same case with Insectors, it's just better to leave your Magical Musket monsters face up on your side of the field for the most obvious reasons, right, to use their effects. The trap card, I believe it's Devil's Deal or Devil's Gate, Devil's Deal. You know, that the card that protects your monsters, Magical Musket monsters, from being destroyed by card effects. Currently a 1-of in the deck, but I think I want to put in an extra one again. Very nice against your opponent's hand traps, well, in case of Ghost Ogre, that is, right, and Mass Disruption. I think the card is okay, but might just be fine as a one-off, right? Current main deck does count, I believe, 42 cards, the finalized list. Biggest reason for that is, again, triple pot of Desires. This deck, I want to make the count a little bit higher than 40, that is, since I want to at least make the chance a little bit, or at least more easy to get a possible second Desires off. Again, triggering any Magical Musket monster on your side of the field, and the trade-off of, you know, the 2 draws of Desires. And as you've seen multiple times before here with the Sears Passbook, the card is okay. I mean, if you're opening with it, you can activate it like, and potentially, hopefully, trigger any Magical Musket monster, hopefully like Casper or the level 4 to get an extra search, but even then you're banishing those 3 cards and 3 standby phases. By the time you're getting those is most of the time just far too long. And again, 2 situations, right? You're either already lost a duel by the time you'll be getting those 3 draws, or you're probably, well, already in a very good position and those 3 draws won't really matter that much. But again, if you're getting those 3 extra cards, they'll put you in such an advantage position that you probably 100% should win the duel. Right, so, but then again, I believe the card is okay, especially here in this particular deck, Magical Musketeers. Get a search, it's like an Upstart the Goblin, very similar. Then again, Upstart already gives you like an extra card from your deck, while your Sears Passbook, well, it's hopefully like a 1-for-1 if it's like a search for Casper, but even then, so I think it's okay. But then there's always a risk of, you know, banishing other copies of your Sears Passbook with the first Passbook, and, you know, that's not really too optimal. Same with Desires drawing into another copy of Desires, but I believe the chance of that isn't really that high, and here again, in case of this particular deck, I think it's worth it, right? Anyway, yeah, eventually, as you're seeing here, I believe he had the Ghost Ogre to get rid of the Casper, and then that definitely hurts. No Casper available during my opponent's turn gets your opponent out of the cycle lock, right? With Doctor getting everything back from the grave, your, what is it called, a cowboy-like card to discard something, get 2 draws, and Casper also to get an extra search. Again, keeping the flow going of your Magical Musket monsters, but again, any form of interruption will, well, put your opponent into such a good position over the Magical Musketeer deck that it's quite hard for your Magical Musket deck to come back after that. I'm going to survive unless he has like another copy of Alistair to gain the attack boost, but I still have a chance, right? So use Duality, I believe get a second copy of the counter trap. It's a counter trap, right? It should be, but again, I can't really do anything, right? And he knows that, and eventually he will be ending with, I believe, 2 spells in his hand, so he will eventually be able to deal the last damage and attack for game, right? Yep, double negate, double markup on negate. And that definitely seals the deal. So the last example should be against Pendulum Magicians. Yep, against Pendulum Magicians. Here in this case, I get to start. So normal summon Casper, get a search out of the Sears Passbook, reveal the 3 that I, you know, banished, and those are definitely good banished cards. Desires, Solemn Strike, I believe, and not really sure what the 3rd card was. Was it, I believe, the trap card that destroys? So 3 very solid cards, but again, it needs to wait, at least I need to wait for 3 turns, so hold off my opponent, but yeah, again, so whatever, right? Casper, and eventually I believe it's Squirrel's Dominator. Yeah, maybe he should have attacked first, and after that going for, well, if he had still had the chance, probably had indeed, go for the Link Summon of Electromite. But again, Raigeki does simplify the game state, and with both Casper and the Doctor on my side of the field, and I believe the Desperado will eventually pop one of his skills, but that Astrograph Sorcerer definitely was a very nice top deck. But again, the counter trap, Deadsman's Burst, will definitely prevent my opponent from setting up the scale, and another Cross Dominator, I believe, will force out the Poison Violet Magician. That's all good, so 1 turn remaining, but again, there isn't really anything that my opponent can top deck here to, first of all, set up his scale, or, you know, threatening my entire field. So I think I can safely go for Messenger 7 and potentially get back another monster. I don't think I had to keep a Magical Musket monster on my side of the field face up in order to use a counter trap, right? So here, getting the 3 draws of the 3 cards banished, and again, too much, right? Here, in this situation, again, can I call it useless advantages, since again, I probably would have won without those 3 extra cards. But still, the search I got earlier with, you know, the activation of Sears Passbook with, I believe, Casper on the field definitely helped out. So in this deck, I can definitely see myself adding in multiple copies of Sears Passbook. So it's a decent card, but competitively speaking, probably won't see any competitive play. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.